Hello, this is Marxist, and I'm going to be casting today. I've always wanted to cast, but I think I kind of have my stuff together enough now that I'll be able to put out a decent product. If nothing else, just my voice. I really don't know how the Fraps is going to turn out because I've always struggled with it. Since there are no games going on right now, I'm going to go back in time to around early 2012. I think it was in the winter, not 100% on that, to Season 10's ESEA LAN. We're going to cast one game from there on CP Granary that was between Quantic Gaming and Mixup. This is going to be my pilot episode. Once the season actually starts, I hope to actually put on some casts either on streams or to this YouTube channel if the video quality is good enough for me to do it. I'm going to go over the rosters here. You have the quintessential Quantic Gaming, LG, whatever you want to call them, roster from the past. You got Clockwork and Sizer on Scout. Clockwork, undeniably one of the best scouts in the game. Sizer as well. Sizer doesn't really get noticed a lot out in the wider world, but I quite enjoy watching Sizer play. Mackie, who is one of the most dynamic roamers in the game, who had a lot of big plays throughout his career as really not Soldier in many cases. He also now streams, and I know a lot of people would like to see him come back. You had Tyrone on Pocket, who was one of the most popular members of the community, who's now retired as well. CB on Medic, who also is retired now. He's moved on and does other things now. And Banny. Banny's still known as one of the best players in TF2 in general over the whole world, and this Season 10 LAN was really where he ascended. He was obviously a known factor, and that was part of the reason why Mixup's roster looks the way it does. But this was the LAN where Banny ascended to the next level, basically, of his play. Over on the other side, we have Classic Mixup, who has Dabes, aka Moose, on Scout. He may be returning this season to reprise his Scout role for Mixup, which would be exciting. You have Enigma, who was not yet the world champion and founder of TFTV at this time. Still one of the best scouts in the game, really. Relic, who is a former ESEA All-Star, very well-known soldier, been around forever. He was playing Roamer for them. TLR, who really needs no introduction, who I believe is retired now also from the game to play Dota. Harblue on Medic, a very different style of Medic than anything that you'd really seen before, and he reprises it periodically because of his success. I enjoy watching it, especially as a Medic main. And you had Platinum on Demo. Platinum's one of the best soldiers in the game, but he decided to go to Demo, especially because of how strong the other soldiers were on the team, and Platinum's really the second best Demo in America. So as long as he can keep up with Banny, his team just can rely on the other people, and Plat doesn't have to do anything out of the ordinary. All he has to do is equal Banny. If he plays better than Banny, then they're in a very good position. So I'm going to cast this as if it has just now happened, and I also hope to provide a little bit of strategic insight for teaching purposes, but it's not going to be like a demo review or anything like that. I'm going to do a little bit of color commentary to try and show sort of what I've got, and also just to have a little bit of fun with it. We are going live here. We're going to watch Platinum at the start here. I'm going to try to keep the camera on individual players just to take it easy on my computer and my fraps. Got Plat going to the left here. I love that little hop that he does there. And he's going to come out of choke. He shoots a sticky over the crate and around to the left, which keeps a scout off of him potentially if he's going to get rushed. So now you just see the mid developing here. He knows Banny is not able to get any pressure out. So as long as his team keeps things together, you get that. You lose a scout and your medic right to the start. They over-invested in that right side push, and now Platinum's trapped out, so they're losing everything. And you end up with a Plat versus Clockwork battle on the point, and that's, unless Plat hits a clutch pipe, you know, that's just not going to happen. Mackie, being a roamer who survived mid, immediately starts pushing up. He jumps upper here, and the reason he does that is to lock out anyone who comes from that upper doorway that he's looking at. And there it is. He knows he's got the surprise, but he's a little slow on the reaction there. And he knows that scout, if he comes back, is going to try to get in through here. And there he is. Oh, Moose drops the ham on Mackie right there. And Mix-Up retakes the point. Now, if you'll note, CB's building a little quickly here, and that's because he's got the critical Kriegs. And putting a critical Kriegs in Banny's hands, not a bad idea. And there you go. Relic gets a nice jump on him, but he ends up going down to just normal stickies. And all that's left is a 4 health Enigma and Platinum. Enigma is going for the back cap. He has to stop and get some health. Now, the important thing about this back cap here is that it can't do anything because there's a soldier with height advantage, and the point's going to go down, even if he kills him, yeah. So, now we've got spawns, but Tyrone gets, they come out of the door closest to the point. Easy kills for Tyrone. We're going to watch Banny at mid here. I like watching the demos at the starts of mids because it pretty much explains what everyone else is going to do and what sort of pace we've got as far as mids go. Banny actually gets there with not very much health. If Platt were really quick, he could get the kills, but they're choosing to put Platt in the garage this time, and now it's Platt that's locked out and not Banny. Although he almost gets that. Banny's trying to do stuff, but so far he hasn't really accomplished much on this mid. But his team looks to be winning, and we got Harblue being chased. That's Sizer that's chasing after him, and the needles almost, but not quite. He still thinks, yeah, he's just keeping himself safe with those needles. I like to call those safety needles. Now, the other important thing to note here is it took CB a little time to get connected, it looks like, judging by the Uber charge meter and where it is, and by the fact that Mackie, Banny, and the gang aren't really being healed yet. You just had Tyrone and Clockwork, and Tyrone was a spawner who waited. So, you've got Mix-Up with a really solid Uber here advantage. And basically what you're going to try and see from Quantic is they need to use their projectile classes to pop that Uber, which they did do. And now they just have to get out, get away. And Banny and Tyrone do that. Banny cycles around upper and gets taken out by TLR. That's a massive pick. It was just poorly coordinated on Quantic's part to not really have anyone grouped up together, and now they're wiped. And especially on Granary, it's a really swingy map. And what I mean by swingy is if you wipe at a point, mid, or anywhere else, even if you wipe badly at their own last, you're going to end up at your own last pretty much 100% of the time. So we got Enigma coming in as the big Russian fat man. Some people call him the scout with special needs. I appreciate that. We're going to see what kind of a hold we got going here. Oh, we have crits on Harb. So my guess here is that they're going to use the crits Krieg advantage that they got because crits charge is slightly faster than Uber. Now who are we going to see it go to? We're going to see it go to Platt. If we get really lucky, we will have Platt get the Kriegs. What's he get with it? Oh, nothing. We got nothing doing. We shifted over to Enigma, who shreds Sizer with the laser beams. And we get a little bit of time on the point, and CB is so hurt. And a lot of confidence from CB not to pop there in the face of the Heavy. The Heavy wasn't looking at him, so things were okay. And Relic tries to put some time on the point to delay things. Oh, Harb's gonna get caught! That's a massive pick because of the numbers advantage that Quantic has right now. They do know that 4 players are probably in or around on the right side, besides Platt, who was at the shutter door. Mix-Up's gonna have to pull out here and go back to mid because of their lack of a medic. But you gotta be a little bit careful there because of, Clockwork's walking by it right now. That's forward spawn. That's where the people come out of. So when they've got mid and second, which is what they did have. So now we've got a full Uber advantage push for qXg coming out here, and we're going to watch what Tyrone does here. It's going to be the same situation that we talked about last time, where they need to pop LG or qXg with their projectile classes and get out. Platt's trap. That's worst case scenario right there. That was a really unlucky bounce for him. It's not really him being a bad player or Tyrone being oh so good. It's just it was a bad bounce, and things like that happen in this game. Now, Mix-Up does have massive Uber, but they dropped 3 players in that because they were a little too close or they didn't kite effectively enough. And now they're in serious danger. Although LG qXg is a little slow on the pickup there. And Mackey's already in. The reason they bomb Mackey in for that is they need to get Harblue's Uber out, or they're going to be able to push into yard or mid. And we're going to see what TLR does here, since he's going to be the battering ram. That's more or less what Pocket does for your team. He's the guy that takes the Uber into the other guys. Oh, almost gets a nice shot on the scout. What went wrong there, really, was Moose went down, and that allowed Sizer to get in behind. I didn't catch that on camera, but now we've let Ubers equalize. This is a simple lesson if you're a player. If you have Uber advantage and you die, it pretty much screws your team, but qXg gets a little too excited, and now their Uber is popped, and TLR gets launched across the map. We call that surfing when that happens. And we got a big fight going down here, and we're going to watch what Harblue does. Because these fights as medic are the hardest, because you've got to try and put out as much heals as you possibly can while being in an incredible amount of danger. Look at, oh, he almost managed it. But then Mackey's going to come seal the deal. And now we've got a complete reversal with Mix-Up on their last. And, you know, when I say things, it's not meant to call out players. But what really went wrong there was Moose's early death. He either needed more support or to play more passively. And when you go one down when you've got Uber advantage, it just completely screws up your whole game. TLR's trying to make things happen. Relic's bombing the point. Oh! CV goes for the glory kill, and it's over. Banny's going to cap that point for his team and set qXg up 2-0. We're going to watch a little bit different mid here. I think we're going to go for Mackey. The roamer tends to either distract or throw himself away at mid in order to get out a lot of damage or take eyes off of players who have more than 4 rockets, because he's usually using the gunboats. Mackey's actually coming in with pretty low health, but he's going to get the crit seals, and he's going to do a strong right-sided jump and find absolutely no one. He's behind Mix-Up, and he's trying to go for Platt. Platt is the most important player on the team for this mid. And he fixates a little bit on Platt there, and the scouts win the game. And that's another important lesson. Scouts tend to win mids. And if your scouts die early, that's unpleasant and not a very good move, strategically speaking. So, Moose and Enigma are able to carry the day. Or Dabes. They know, because of the way spawns work, that 2 scouts are going to have trouble being in this front area of granary on the second point. Now, a lot of teams favor this left-sided push because there usually isn't a lot of resistance here because they're worried about the shutter door. qXg's combo cycles around, though, to block, and we got Mackey going in behind. Let's try and get back to Mackey here. Oh, it's actually a crits. But Banny drops Platinum and Moose, and Harblue, and Relic. Enigma all go down, wipe. So, that basically went as badly as it possibly could. And you're going to get an easy cap here. They're going to stack it with 4 or more to try and deny forward spawns to Mix-Up, and they're not going to succeed. Now, they know that qXg has Uber. So what they're going to do is they're going to try and use their 3 projectile classes to get an Uber pop. You don't want to suicide anyone unless you have to. And now the Uber is behind them, and they're fighting in yard as well. This was a play, actually, that you saw from Fully Torqued at this season's LAN 13, where you fight out in the yard while they're behind you. But it doesn't work out. And Mackey's going to cap the point as his team moves on. And I don't know if Mix-Up's going to be able to even get on it in time. Nope, and that is the half. So we played at 3 in America. You get yourself a little halftime. Mess around, take a break, get some water, and then come back and also switch colors. So actually going to change things up here and watch Enigma at the start. Mix-Up's down 3-0. That's kind of a problem. Quantic only needs 2 more caps to win this game, and Mix-Up has to get 5. So they're going to need some comeback magic here. It's just not looking like their day today. But you never know what can happen in this game. And in general, there's a belief on this map that blue side is best side, so we shall see. Enigma, with a little bit of a hiding spot there on the right, crosses over to the point. You want to be on the point if at all possible. Oh, and he gets right in Benny's face and drops some meat and potatoes and salad and other kinds of condiments all over him with that meat shot. You got Moose cleaning up a little bit here, and really nothing Mackie could do there. And it's a scout and a soldier with a med versus just a scout and a med there. CB has a little bit of an advantage, but it's not really going to be anything that they can push off of. Clockwork's just playing a little bit of patty cake out there with the other scout. And we're going to see things equalize a little bit. Now, what I'd actually really like to see from Mix-Up is they knew Mackie was down. Which means, in general, see, Tyrone has to stand here and watch Shutter Door in general. So if you push around, it probably would have worked out, because this whole area is called the lunchbox, and it's generally Mackey's responsibility. But Mackey's actually going to do a little bit of sneaky sneak, because there's a little hole here that he can maybe go down. I don't know. So this is a stalemate. You break stalemates by getting a kill, or just Ubering in and doing what the Euros call a recycle, and it looks like they've opted for the recycle route. So you're going to see 2 Ubers get popped, and then a little bit of fighting, and try and get good damage, and then push back out. But that was just poorly orchestrated on Quantic's part. They never tried to get back out, and Tyrone's team couldn't follow up on him because there were a whole crap load of people watching that door. So it wasn't a very good recycle in general for Quantic, who got Ubered on. They basically they took the trap, hook, line, and sinker. So we're going to watch a little bit of TLR on mids because Pocket tends to see a lot of things. And we have a pause, actually. It's unpaused. There we go. So we got 3-1. A little bit of a comeback from Mix-Up last round. We'll see if they can get it. Also, Ubers look to be building fine, so I don't think we've got any crits to mid or any other really weird plays. You got TLR going out of... Oh, you got the whole Mix-Up soldier crew coming up top, which gives them a pretty good bomb position. Banny rather, was on the crates there. That can be a rough spot for a demo to be. And that was just a terrible mid, and all that you've really got here is Mackie and a pause. Mackie's in a nice little hiding place, but unless he kills Harblue, it's not going to make a bit of difference. Basically what happened there was Quantic had a lot of people on the crates, and when they got knocked down, they got devoured by scouts because there was no coverage on the ground to keep the scouts away. And Moose is about to see Mackie. I'm sitting through this pause just mainly for the fun of it for a little bit, because as a player, if you've never played TF2 before, pauses happen, especially in online play. This is at LAN, so it's a little different. But I always love the little games you play, because Mackie is like, oh man, I know where the medic is. He's definitely on the point. but there's other people around and they're not on the point. Where are they? Moose may know where he is, especially because someone shot a pipe over there. And so he's like prepping himself for that perfect move to come over and kill Mackie. And we'll see if it happens. Here we go. Finally unpaused, and Mackie's gonna try and find the med. Oh, no, no. His rocket was a little too excited. Now you get to see the little bit of slidey little. It's like one of those little football players on the vibrating board. And also the HUD is a little bit screwed up. We'll see if we can fix that. There we go. My HUD is functional again. Now Mix-Up has full Uber advantage, and it's not charging because HUDs are broken now. But we still know that Mix-Up has Uber advantage, and it looks like they're gonna take it through upper. Generally, when you have Uber advantage, you bring in the whole gang with the Uber, and the sniper does nothing, so he's basically backed out. Unfortunately, Plat goes down, and they even brought the classic Enigma Heavy. But it looks like a botched push, and I don't really know what went wrong, mainly because I'm trying to keep the camera like steady and together, and I can't tell via the HUD what's going on. But also, shutter doors are broken for a while after your demo resets. So now we know at least that Quantic has 100% Uber, but they lose Clockwork. And that's going to delay the push just a mite bit. And also that Harb is just now getting to mid, and nobody came back for him. So you've got a couple options here still. You can try and get that Uber out of Quantic, or they can take it into you because you got a little too close. This point's a little rough here, and Tyrone, oh, Manny saves him, but he never could get off the ground because there was a scout always in his business. And Relic's doing a little bit of the Heidi here. I don't really know if it's, oh, no, he's dead. Fight with the HUD a little bit more, and we'll see that Mix-Up has got 70% Uber, and that CB has none. So we get another full advantage push, and we saw Platinum get kind of isolated. And they're really close here. So, oh, come on, Chariot Uber. No, not gonna happen. They want to wait for the team to get there, which is quite a wise decision. So you got Moose, he's gonna peek out left. And TLR goes down up top. So now what that's gonna do now is, oh, and we have functional HUDs again. That means that they're completely donezo with this whole pushing with advantage business, because CB's here now with his Uber. And this is gonna be a disaster for Mix-Up unless they just completely make giant mistakes on Quantic, because their Uber was so not as good as Quantic's. But Platinum gets a big pipe on a rushing scout. That's the one time that the Demo V scout rule does not apply. And Mackie gets a nice little kill on Enigma. But this point is so hard to push into from last, especially because of where forward spawn is for blue team, that in general you're probably not going to see a push out, and Harblue didn't die. So what's going to happen here is we're going to see someone go for a big play and try and get a kill on CB or Banny, probably. And we are trying to find that somebody because it is an Enigma spy. You can see a little bit of the wispy smoke in his eye as he goes in here. Hopefully he doesn't get bumped. Oh, okay, so he sneaks through successfully. We also have an engineer in Mackie, and he may just go for Mackie here. Oh, he bumped a scout. It's all over. It's all over. The spy play didn't work. Now you might see Quantic try and push up a little bit, but they also see that heavy there. So that pretty much means that they can't really penalize Mix-Up for their failure spy play. And that, you try and get a pick with a spy, but sometimes somebody just happens to bump into you and it's a failure. So Wasn't necessarily Enigma's fault. He what he wanted to do was kill Mackie and sap the gun. Because right now, Quantic essentially has 7 players on their team, one of which is a sentry gun that can't miss. And that's a pretty good guy to have on your team, really. And if you'll see, Mackie is standing in the doorway to spawn. That's so that the second his little buddy, the 7th player on the team, dies, he just switches back to soldier or heavy or whatever other class he might want to play. But this is the way engineer was meant to be played in 6s. You've also got Clockwork doing some sniping, but the problem here is that the wall is slightly higher on red. And I know since it's an STV, the dot marker is a little screwed up, but the wall is slightly higher on red, and so sniper is a little bit more of a problem. I think one of the walls is higher. I'm pretty sure it's the red side. Red side's back wall is a little higher, so it's harder to snipe. And they're just peeking around trying to get kills on both sides with the sniper. It's Relic on sniper here for Mix-Up, and Clockwork sniping for Quantic. Oh, and there's the pick that they wanted. So, and TLR also knows where the gun is. So, in an ideal perfect world, they wouldn't pop until the gun was down, but they're going to get it pretty quickly. The thing that's the game changer there is Banny gets headshot by Relic, which means they're not going to be able to keep them out anymore with spam from a guy that has 12 projectiles. Also, Platt baits the point really strongly, and that's something that a demo man can do, and all of a sudden, just like that, it's 3-2. And the comeback is happening. We're going to watch a little bit of Banny cam, if we can get it. The thing about this is now, if you watched Banny's rollouts, it'd be a lot crisper, I would say. These are a little bit of fall damage here and there. Platt gives away his position immediately and takes big damage. This means Banny can play ultra aggressive, and they kill Platt right away. So this is a disaster mid, and you can see that Mix-Up's just pulled right out. Pretty much if your demo man dies in that initial exchange like that, it's over. You are incredibly done. Oh, but Platt gets a little too aggressive and ends up with a or Banny rather gets a little too aggressive and almost gets destroyed by Enigma. But it turns out okay, and now Harb's in a really bad position where players are just bleeding out. And you're probably going to see a nice early pop. Oh, Clockwork juggles a little bit there. Take this kid to the circus. And Tyrone's got to play a little bit of hide behind the box. Oh, and the heavy doesn't get him. And Mackie goes down to TLR. So, what we're going to see here is just a standard reset and probably a Mackie off class. I don't know what he opts for here. We'll find out in 1 second. Soldier! That's actually pretty surprising. But Banny does get a pick on Platt and Moose. So that's going to go ahead and cause the push anyways. Because a team without a demo can't defend, although they do have our comrade over there, and that's going to put Quantic at 4-2, which is a place you really don't want to be, because in America we only play to 5. So it's essentially match point for Quantic. If they get another point, the game is over, and Mix-Up will lose. So we got Enigma here coming to mid, and he's going through the garage side, so he's got to wait for some stickies. He knows, because he doesn't see anybody over here, that they've all come out garage, and he just immediately turns and puts Bandy in a little sandwich. And he only has 3 health. This is still anybody's game, really, and now it's especially on the side of Mix-Up because they have a Scout, and Scout's a good class in this game from time to time. And that's gonna settle it. Basically what happened there was they just managed to keep one of their scouts alive. And that allowed them to get pressured out. It's so hard to fight a scout, especially as a soldier, because if you bounce the scout, which is gonna happen, he can still shoot at you. But if you take shots from him and get thrown around, your aim's all screwed up when you try to shoot your rocket. So we've got equal Ubers here, and we also see Quantic heavily favoring the right side. Because they're aware of the fact that the way qXg and a lot of teams have played is to push in on the right side. You're also going to see this recycle again. This European style recycle, but this time Quantic's not going to fall for it. Tyrone knows that his Uber is slightly better because they don't have to pop as early. And they're bogging down Quantic's flank in a big fight, and that's it. So now they can push left side like they want to, or right side if you're at Quantic's perspective. Clockwork comes in and drops some ham on Moose, but it's not going to matter. Their whole flank is dead. The thing that worries me here is that they're really methodical about the sticks, but Platinum could have capped that without too much danger to himself. We also have a 3v3, but CB and Tyrone go down to a bomb in that I didn't catch because I was too busy pontificating about capping points. And Clockwork's fighting a little bit here in upper and manages to get some other picks, so it's still really tremendously ugly for Quantic because of the Uber that we're about to see. And TLR takes a little bit of early damage. Banny's trying to play his game, and Clockwork goes and takes out a little bit of Plat and TLR. And he's gonna, oh, and that should almost be the end of it. Oh, he gets him. Can Mackie save the day? Or Sizer? Sizer pistol. There they go. Now, you're not really going to see a push out here because A, it's hard to push into Granary's second, and B, a lot of people died. And Mix-Up respawns slightly faster because they have more points. And that tends to be how the game works, just in general. So we got a Mackie Spy, and what Mackie Spy is going to try to do, once I find him, is kill Harblue. If he can kill Harblue, or one other player, oh, he got sighted. Run, Mackie Spy. Okay, so usually when something like that happens, you're just going to call it a day on the spy play and go some other class, and we're going to go a Mackie the head shooter class. And he's going to play back near spawn. The reason he plays back near spawn is because his sole purpose is to say, hi, I'm a sniper. If you show yourself to me, guy in white lab coat, I will kill you if I shoot you in the kneecap. Or any other part of your body, in fact. So you had best pop your Uber as soon as possible. And if you'll note the way that Quantic's holding here, they're quite a ways in the back. So that's going to provide them with a relative Uber advantage because they know Mix-Up's going to have to pop right away if they're aware of Mackie's presence. So they have to close the distance, and that's going to take a while. And Relic tries to bomb in to get CB's Uber out. He has to go back in and get spawn, but it's not that big of a deal. And we're probably going to see Relic Sniper in an attempt to get rid of the Mackie Sniper. But Mackie's going to peek all the way into this door. Oh, and he bags Platinum with a headshot. That was a really dangerous play because if anybody ran up to that door, that was going to be the end of Mackie Sniper. But it turns out. And Clockwork gets a little bit behind. He turns the combo around, and he's very hurt. But you've got Relic up there that could end his party, and there it goes. And now they're getting picked apart. Mix-Up's health is really bad, but there's way more Mix-Up players in general, and they're all dead now, is Quantic. And that's going to be an easy cap. And it will save Mix-Up from match point. So we're going to watch Relic here at mid, just for old time's sake. So again, if Quantic wins even one round, the game is over. Mix-Up has to win 2 more. If they win this, it'll be a tie game, and it'll essentially be a tiebreaker round. Oh, we get Relic trying to do a big bomb, but he gets shredded. However, all of Quantic just gets obliterated. Such strong mids from Mix-Up. My computer got a little laggy there, That's part of the reason why I'm not so big on the camera work, because when I zoom out, things just don't go right in this resolution. And you're going to have a quick push in from Mix-Up here and just stam themselves on the point. All TLR has to do is push people around with his rockets and shotgun, and especially handle... Oh, Harblue goes to get some Uber Saw. Turn your head and cough because you just got wrecked. That's what my Uber Saw description says. So, solid mids there for Mix-Up, and now we have a tie game. We have 11 minutes remaining, too, before it would go into official overtime. So we're going to see Banny here at mid. And he's going to take the right side rollout. Grab his little health pack. He knows where Platinum is because he heard those sticks go down. Yeah, he's right on the health kit. Banny's locked out, and this scout's going to be a major problem. Oh, but he hits him with a pipe, and Clockwork takes him down. That's teamwork right there. And you've got Mackie versus TLR and Enigma, both of which are lit. The problem that's going to happen isn't TLR. The problem is Enigma. Enigma's going to be able to whittle Mackie down for a very long time. Yeah, he does kill TLR. Now he's in an awful situation on the ground against the scout. Yeah, that's... Again, if a scout survives to the end of mid, you have a much better chance of winning that mid. And that's just a general principle. Enigma's a great player, but you don't need to have Enigma on your team for that sort of thing to happen. That's just... If you play long enough, you'll discover scouts being alive at the end of mid result in victory quite often. Okay, so CB has a bit of advantage, and it's making me a little bit suspicious. So we're going to find it. No, it's just a real-life Uber charge. So we're going to see perhaps a quick advantage push, although that would be odd for the tradition of these teams. Mix-Up tends to be the more aggressive, while Quantic tends to be the more calculating, cautious. All those other words about being slow. So we get Ubers equalized here. And the way that this is going to break is one team is eventually going to do a lot of damage to the other because they're peeking on each other and push. Or they're going to bomb in and try and take an Uber away. Oh, and TLR gets the Uber drop. He does the roamer's job. Oh no, it's Relic. It was Relic. But the one that ultimately gets the drop was TLR. So that was a really coordinated spam, it looked like to me. So they've got Uber, and Mackie's up in the drop down causing havoc, or somebody was anyways. We'll see who it was. Banny's just setting up traps and backing up. Mainly because CB's never going to have Uber before Harb has his again. As long as they build correctly. But in invite matches, you can generally take building as a given. It's just something that's going to be done. And that's why the Ubers are increasing so quickly. Like if you just play in pubs, people don't build the Uber for you. And so it feels like it takes forever to get that Uber, but in sixes it happens at a pretty quick pace. You get CB faking a little Uber, and you can see Mix-Up doing their typical thing where they tend to favor the left side. They may cross over. They may do the exact same push they've done time and time again that has worked fairly well, of just coming in here and recycling these Ubers. Which is unusual for American play. It's really more of a European tactic. And Tyrone takes a Sizer too, even. And TLR goes above. He gets a nice scout kill. He's on Mackie. Oh, Tyrone crosses around. Banny's really hurt. So this recycle not going quite the same way as all the other ones, because Tyrone didn't push out into yard on them. Oh, we got fights. We got fights. Harblue. Oh, medic on medic violence, but it comes to naught as the combat classes try to have their say as well. We got a 15 health Banny coming up here. He knows he's safe, but he's going to want to get this med kit, I imagine. He just wants to be... Oh, yeah, see? He wanted to be extra careful there, and he thought he was safe, but TLR just spammed some rockets and ended his life. So we're back where we were, and the other important fact here is that Banny's not alive. That means Mix-Up knows there are no sticky traps, so they can push in a little bit easier, and Tyrone gets dropped for it, and CB. So this could be the game. It's just Banny, and we got a scout coming early, but Banny saves that game, and we got Harb doing a little bit of fighting. And he gets pushed out all the way. So that could have gone way different, but it didn't. So the Uber push out, everything was quite a bit different than what we'd seen there. And they had a scout run to last right away instead of capping second. But, you know, sometimes you go for big plays. So we have Uber advantage for mix-up, which means we're probably going to be seeing them be the aggressors here. Make sure that it isn't anything unusual. Nope. And we'll watch a little bit of Harblue Vision. 2012 Harblue Vision. And we're going to have a pretty early pop on TLR, which is pretty much the best thing that could happen in the world for Quantic. And they're not going to be able to get in there. Stickies all over the ground, so they have to back out. And now they have to fan out. So what happened there was Quantic used projectile classes to pop Mix-Up just for yard, and they didn't get second. And now you have Tyrone putting pressure on a Platinum Harblue combo. And also Pix going down against Mix-Up, but Plat just dumps damage on that team out there in yard. And it's going to be rough, but it might turn out okay. And another thing that happened there was CB got a little bit separated and ended up not charging quite as well. And this was also the first season, I believe, for the Boston Basher, so you see that there, aka Sizer build. And we'll see an equalized push here. So you'll see heal shifting or stacking or a bomb in to try and get a push. So we'll see what we do here. This is an example of stacking. They're just going to throw a ton of people in here and try and get picks. They managed to get Mackie, so now all they have to do is back out and they'll win. But they lost TLR and they're going to lose Plat. They do get CB though. And this scout's taking a long time to kill. Oh, Mix-Up comes in with a massive damage. There you go. So TLR's kill there, a little worrisome, but everything turns out okay for them. That's, you stack aside, get a kill, back up, push back in with your numbers advantage that you've got. And that's how it worked. And this could be the game unless you see massive hero plays out of Quantic, and that's not. Mix-Up wins 5-4. So I hope you enjoyed my inaugural cast. This is just a pilot video. I hope everything looks okay. Again, I usually watch these from like a blimpy view running around, but Fraps really hates it when I do that, so I just tried to keep it on individual players. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Feel free to provide any commentary you would like, and I'll get better and better as we go on, but I'd like to do this. I think it was fun. I hope you had fun as well.